All right, so how you guys doing on this wonderful evening? I just want to say I'm sorry for the barbaric style of recording. I will improve in the future. Just give me a little time. This is all I got. I need time to make changes. What? Anyway, Walmart. I'm gonna talk about some Walmart now. Before I start breaking up the whole Walmart, I want to say every job's different. All right. And maybe Walmart's a little better. Maybe it got worse over time. This was back in 2013. So this wasn't too long ago, but it still was a while. I mean, a lot could have changed. And I'm just talking about the times that I have been there from 2013 to like 2019. And it's going to be different. So, and I want to say that hopefully, my experience may, let you guys know that, hey, not every job is going to be perfect. Every job's is always going to be a con and a pro to different jobs. So you got to just, it's like this. The true best job is the one that you really like. If you like painting, that job is going to be the best job for you. Like if you painting pictures and stuff, like if you're working at a manga, office or whatever, if you like painting, yeah, that's gonna be great. All right, sorry about that. I had an aggressive cough, so I had to kind of do that behind the scenes. Now, let's get started with this whole Walmart thing. Now, I'm going to summarize the story as much as I can. I'm not going to go like extreme detailed into it, but I will, do as much as I can. So, anyway, back in 2013, this was my first official job. I never worked anywhere else officially. It was unofficially, I have worked under the table, as in, washing cars. Now, I have that. Long story short, I got ripped off being young, washing cars. I did like a week worth of, washing cars, and for like 6, 7 hours a day to only get $50 for the entire week. And I was washing trucks, like full blown, like I washed at least 3 tractor trailer trucks. Yeah, $50, amazing. Anyway, back to Walmart. So this was my first official job. I was excited as usual because I never worked anywhere other than like, this was corporate. This was like, I guess like the big thing. So I bust my butt as hard as I can and climbed the ladder. I wasn't goofing around. I was like serious trying to get to it was all about working and trying to make that paycheck because I was saving, working hard, and I just wanted to do the best that I can because I didn't want to lose this job. And so I worked unloading trucks. And, of course, I made friends back there and all that. And we had a good time. Fast forward, I started becoming, I wanted to improve and, look for a better position. So I looked in another position within the company. And that's when I end up becoming a support manager. So basically, originally I was going to try to go for like working in like the back room, but that position was taken. So they opened up a new position as support manager. I was chosen, and luckily I was grateful for being chosen, and I just worked as hard as I can. Now, fast forward again. I'm fast forwarding a lot, so I apologize because I don't want to bore you with the whole story. Like, yeah, I did this and we, unload boxes. I mean, you guys understand the whole workforce, so I'm just only summarizing some of the highlights and this and that. Anyway, I digress. So, moving on. I got the support manager, which basically is I guess, between like a assistant manager to a department manager. In between those, kind of in a way, it's more like supporting the assistant manager in a way. So I did my best. I did my job. I was all over the place. I was like a jack of all trades. And I just try to help as much people as I can in every department because, you know, bonuses in that store, the more you help out, more money you make in that store. And I'll help all the department managers, all my associates, and I just, did what I can. So now this is when we started getting to the downfall of Walmart. So everything was good in the past. I mean, I'm not going to say it was 100% horrible. It wasn't like a bad experience. But being in Walmart, and as time go on, I started to see a lot of, managers starting to take a lot of heat. So corporate basically started to make changes. They wanted to cut jobs. They wanted to cut stores. They wanted to save money. They wanted to do all these kind of things. And they started push like production more, as in you need to do a lot more, squeeze every bit of time you could get out of those associates. Whip them with the horse. I mean, not whip them with the horse. Like beat the horse. God, I screwed that all up. Beat the dead horse, basically. They was beating the dead horse. And they basically try to get basically, to summarize it, they was trying to get too much work out of one person, and it burns them out. So from corporate going down to like store manager, putting all that pressure on the store manager. Then after that, it goes to the assistant manager. And then it tried to put all that pressure on me as a support manager. Obviously, I'm not going to bash my associates like that because, they human, they got lives. I understand. I'm not going to overflow them with work. I'm not going to call them on their day off. They don't deserve that. If their day off, they have that. If they want to come in, that's fine, but I'm not going to pressure them into like, hey, you got to come in. Can you come in? We need help. No, that's not going to work. I was not about to do that. And it's just, they try to squeeze in more work out of associates. So say like if we running like a frozen and dairy truck, it will be like a couple of pallets here. You got some frozen associates over there, and you got some dairy associates over there. What they'll try to do nowadays is squeeze as much out of, most of the people and condense them. So rather have like 5 associates or 7, cut it down to 2 or 3. That's, is the Walmart life. And I seen a lot of that going on. And even today, like where team leads basically are department managers, but doing more. And that's what, team leads are. Support managers basically is what, team leads is the new support manager. So, but it took away support managers and department managers. So they basically downsized. They cut they made it where you're going to do a lot more work. Yeah, your pay got a little bit increased, but it's a lot more stressful and it's a lot to deal with. Luckily, I don't do that anymore. I left when they got ready to do all that stuff. So the thing was, you cannot overwork your associates but so much. I mean, you gotta, like, I understand assistant managers was really stressed out. I get it. Y'all taking all that heat from the big boss and stuff. But you cannot expect but so much out of your associates. You're going to just run them off. The associates is what makes the company. People say, oh, you got store managers, you got assistant managers, but you got to have the workers to do the work. If you don't have the workers to do the work, are you going to do the work? So you can't put but so much on them. Like, I understand if they goofing off, if they playing around or whatever, Yeah, if they not working and they should be working, yeah, I understand. Let's get it. But if they walk past just saying simply hello, or if they working as they talking, let them do that. I mean, it's fine. They're not hurting anybody. They working. But if you see them working and talking and look like they're having a good time, oh, you gotta separate them. And that's what they try to get me to do. And I was like, this is ridiculous, man. I'm like, they being productive. They working, they talking. Why do I have to separate them? What the hell do you want them to do? Like be miserable all day? I was sick of that. You want them to be miserable. You want them to be depressed while they working. Is that what you want? Like, give them a break. They not hurting anybody. It's not like they taking a chair and sitting down and having a full-blown conversation. They just simply just interacting and they working at the same time. It's just y'all just don't want any interactions. It's like y'all have to have them being productive. And that's what the kind of manager y'all want me to be, is to be some asshole that goes around and say, hey, are you done yet? Are you finished yet? How much time do we got left? I'm not going to do that to them. I mean, like, how about this? Ask them how was their day. How about talk to them? Get to know your associates. You don't even know your associates' names. Excuse me. Y'all don't even know your own workers' names. Y'all just like basically bash them with all. Yes, I understand they work and you're supposed to work, but come on, they human. Like, how many times I've seen y'all managers goofing off and playing Candy Crush and all that? Yeah, well, a lot of times. And y'all delegate all that work to the associates and y'all don't do shit. So you cannot just like throw everything on the associates. Sometimes y'all got to do the work too. So, and I'm not saying every manager is bad, but you cannot, just because you're stressed out, that doesn't mean you take it out on your workers. Because like I said before, as a worker, associate, just because they're an associate, that it doesn't mean that, they can't let me rephrase that again. Just because they're an associate, that doesn't mean that they are low of the low. They not useful to the company. They are very useful for the company. Just like a pawn. You got the pawns in chess. They are just as useful as all the other pawns. If you use those pawns correctly, you can win multiple matches. But anyway, some people don't, understand. So let me summarize this story. What I'm trying to say is that I was a manager. I've been there and I understand the stress, but I will never take that stress out on the other associates. And this is why I left. This is why I left the first time. Because the first time I left because I realized that managers was trying to just basically beat the dead horse and wanted me to be a part of that group, and I didn't want to be a part of that. Like, it's just wrong and messed up. So I left the first time, and after a few years later, I came back. I wanted to give it another shot, but then I realized that all the managers that I used to know end up, either they left or they got too stressed out, and some either got fired because they just wasn't, because I realized that corporate wants an angry manager that thinks that they can throw orders and get the associates to work. That is not how you get an associate to work. You don't have to be their friends. You don't have to be, a friend to them, but don't be a jerk to them. Just be reasonable, be understanding. If a truck takes like 3 hours to complete, with the right amount of associates, and we are shorthanded, how the hell you think that truck gonna get done in 3 hours? And you trying to push two? Like, come on now. And not to mention, things do break in that truck sometimes. Not everyone's perfect. Sometimes it's shit on the floor and we gotta, move to the side to try to clean it up, or, like, we'll try to push that to the side to do it later, or, things happen. Sometimes we get pulled by other managers to do carts and shit. And of course, things is not going to always get done on time. Just because I know y'all want that scorecard to look good. I've been there with management. I understand. But you cannot always get to that point. So sorry if it's not looking good for you, but do not push that on them. That's why I hate that. And this is why I left. I'm sorry, but we can't do that. So, and I've seen many other managers that was good that end up either leaving or getting kicked off or moved position because other managers or the higher ups didn't want them in that position because they felt that they was too friendly with the associates and they didn't like that. Oh, so you rather have an angry manager constantly nagging if you're finished or not, or do you want a manager that's understanding, that will work with you and try to just get through the day? Because at the end of the day, everybody just wants to go home and relax, But while we are here, I try to make this their second home. I tried to do that. I tried to make sure that they was comfortable. If they having a bad day, let's talk about it, see what's going on. We can maybe fix that because not everybody's going to be perfect every day. Things happen. I understand people get sick. I'm not going to fire them because they got sick one day. I'm not going to come to work because someone got COVID. It's not how that works, especially if you in the dairy section. You got COVID, that ain't happening. That person's just not coming in. I'm not going to call them or whatever. Just this bull. So anyway, just try to understand, managers. You cannot push your associates, because you push your associates, you're going to lose a good one. And there are lots of good associates I have seen that have walked away, and they could have stayed if you hadn't just pushed their buttons so far. Look at the incident that happened and, which I'm trying to think, Chesapeake or whatever, it was due to stress. It was, and I'm not excusing it and saying that person was right. I'm not saying it. No matter what, it was wrong that he took people's lives. But what was the cause of it? It was stress. It was people that was keep pushing that button, upper management, keep pushing that button on them overnight associates to get that done, and it need to get done and it explode. You don't know what that person goes through in life, so stop pushing them to the max. They're going to crumble and fall sometimes. Not everybody can handle that level of stress. So anyway, that is why I left. And then the second time I left, well, it was simple. I'm going to summarize this real quick. Basically, I left because they tried to get me. And to summarize it again, I was a regular, I was a regular associate at the time. So I wasn't like management or whatever. So, but we was in the frozen, basically we was doing like frozen and dairy, trucks. And we was extremely shorthanded again. Management do not seem to understand what the hell shorthanded means. They think that, if you shorthanded, it means you gotta work more faster, more harder. Like, you can't push but so much on us. Like, it's not gonna work. So you know what I done? And not to mention, we was only like 3 people trying to do a frozen and dairy truck with 3 associates, including me, a frozen and dairy truck, and they was both big as hell. So you're telling me we had to down sack. And I know some places don't down sack. They may just run it as it is, but they wanted us to down sack for separation, whatever. So we had to down sack, run it, and you want us to zone all that at the same goddamn time before 5? Like, with just 3 of us? Like, are you serious? And you wanted all that done by 5. No, that was not happening. Not to mention, we started close to like 11 o'clock. Like, we do got to get a lunch break. When we going, I'm taking my damn 15-minute breaks too. So and then you pulled one of us off that truck. I mean, off the pallets to do produce. You wanted to do produce, the produce truck, meat and produce, do that. Took like 25 minutes or so. That's time that we could have used to do your damn frozen and dairy truck. But somebody got to do it, so let's pull the guys over there. And then you're going to try to get us to do that. And one other thing I do want to mention, which they said last time when we busted our asses, they said before, the zoning wasn't good enough. The zoning wasn't good enough because, they just said the zoning wasn't good enough. Did you understand that we were shorthanded last time? That's why the zoning wasn't top notch. What the hell you want us to do? All right, so I'm kind of ranting at this point. I'm sorry. Anyway, after I finished doing the truck, the meat and produce truck, it was break. I went and got a can of soda, and I threw my badge and vest at the manager, and I walked away. And the funny thing was that song was playing, that the one they saying the best day of my life or whatever. And so I was like, hey, that's awesome. Song was playing right when I threw that badge and I left. Anyway, nothing against the managers, but y'all gotta work on y'all attitude. Like, y'all not gonna get anywhere far with these associates if you keep trying to bash on them like they're robots. I mean, y'all gotta have a heart. Like, I'm just being honest. Have a heart. Anyway, I'm done. So that's pretty much my story with the whole Walmart thing. It's a lot more detailed, obviously, but it's just, that's the summarized version of it as much as I can. Yeah, I feel so great getting that out of my chest because I never actually talked about it like that. Anyway, tell me what you guys, y'all experienced, like what y'all went through. And it's not just Walmart. Like I said, other companies also have, similar issues as well. Like, I mean, you can have big corporations, you can have small corporations, you can have like mom and pop shops anywhere. I mean, don't forget, even the biggest giant can fall if they do not treat their associates right. I mean, look at Kmart. They was the big dog, the blue light. They not the blue light, they the black light. They done. That light's off. So, I mean, and I know some gonna argue and say, yeah, we still got one Kmart, but they not in competition anymore. Like, other stores gonna look at them like, but anyway, I'm done. So tell me what y'all experience was like, because I'm curious to know. It could be, I mean, everybody experience different. And remember, every job is different. My job, it maybe Walmart's better now. I don't know. Hopefully it's better. But to give Walmart some advice, yes, I'm going to give a whole corporation some advice that's not going to even watch this video. Train your managers, and not just as in work, but to understand and respect associates, because associates have feelings too. And I will never bust them down to the ground and make them feel horrible. So when they could go home, they can even feel more horrible if they having a really bad time at the house. Because like I said, you don't know what these associates' life is, because none of y'all don't care. And I understand if y'all don't have to understand their life, but at least respect them. That's all I ask for, is respect the associates, because the associates is what makes the company. You cannot do that great by yourself running a damn company on your own without the associates. You gotta have some form of help. Like, you may have started the shit, but you can't run it effectively without the associates' help. So anyway, I'm out. Hope you guys have a wonderful day and wonderful evening and whatever. Peace. I know it was really long. I'm sorry, but I just wanted to let all that out because that was my life back then. Now I'm just some Uber driver and some Instacart guy, and I'm just, running around. It's not the greatest job, but it's a job, and it's just for now. So, peace.